everyone, and welcome back to another exciting edition of Boyographic, the show in which I, Matt the Game Boy, talk you through the highs and lows of the Game Boy library, one cart at a time. This week we'll be looking at an arcade conversion that's actually pretty damn good. It's Lock and Chase. So, coming out in the late 1980s meant that the Nintendo Game Boy, like the home consoles of the era, the Nintendo Entertainment System and Sega Master System, were still chasing the dream of the consoles of the 1970s, while the NES and Master System had long since provided gamers with original home console experiences. The urge to play arcade classics in the comfort of your living room was still a real draw for consumers. As a result, the Game Boy is home to ports of some of the most prolific arcade titles of all time. Everything appeared on the 8-bit handheld, from staples like Centipede and Pac-Man, to shooters like R-Type and Gradius, and even obscurities like Tumble Pop and Rodland snuck into the mix. Some of these were better than others, but those that really shone on the system were the games that took the existing premise and built upon it to make an experience truly unique to the Game Boy version. Lock and Chase is one such title. By treating Lock and Chase as more of a sequel than a straight-up port, Data East was able to create one of the most fun and at times fiendishly challenging maze games that I've ever played. The game sees you take control of Lupin, the main character who surprisingly doesn't seem to be named in either the manual or the box of the US or UK versions of the game, and is referred to simply as Thief, which is entirely accurate, as you must work your way through 6 levels with 3 mazes apiece, stealing anything shiny, until eventually you get your hands on the African Star Diamond, the most valuable rock on Earth. Of course, thieves can't be left to run wild, so Lupin will meet resistance with the strong arm of the law, and the police are to Lupin what ghosts are to Pac-Man. They'll try and trap Lupin and keep him from his precious plunder. Naturally, these guys also have names that are omitted from the manual, but in this case it's probably for the best, as they're called Silly, Speedy, Scaredy, and Stiffy. Yeah. So that's the chase part of the name covered, but what about the lock? Well, I'm glad you asked. The original Lock and Chase spin on the maze game genre sees you being able to lock sections of the maze as you pass through them, making the coppers take a different route around. Naturally, this can work to your advantage as you can lock police into a specific area of the maze, and it will become an essential part of solving some of the latter puzzles in the game. But you can also balls it up and trap yourself, which is honestly part of the fun. The gameplay itself in Lock and Chase starts off as you'd expect, with each level seeing you collect all the dots in any given maze to advance to the next stage. The dots here of course represent coins, which when collected add to the player's score by 10 points. Also dotted around the level instead of fruits are money bags, which not only add points to your score, but freeze police in their tracks for a few seconds, adding tactical advantage to this collectible. Of course, there's also a power pellet equivalent present, and that's the spinning diamond. Not only will it make Lupin invincible for a short amount of time, but running into the law will send them back to their spawn location and out of your path. Diamonds can also be used in between stages in the game's slot machine bonus round, where players can add extra lives and other fabulous prizes. Of course, 18 mazes of this would soon become a bore. Fortunately, however, Data East was smart enough to mix up the gameplay mechanics on each new level. Once the player has learned the basics on level 1, level 2 lock doors placed around the maze, while level 3 introduces an interesting switch mechanic that controls when the guards are active. Level 4 even puts sleeping guards in its mazes that the player will awaken by stepping on strategically placed alarms around the maze. Level 5 has Scooby-Doo style warping doors, where you go in one and come out somewhere completely random, while the 6th and final level amps up the difficulty and combines all of these mechanics into 3 satisfying mazes to conclude the game. Sure, you're gonna die a lot in Lock and Chase, but fortunately the game is nice enough to offer unlimited continues, even if it does miss a password feature for gaming on the go. But this shouldn't really be too much of a problem, as the title's only downside is it isn't particularly long, and while the last few mazes might give you a little trouble, persevere and you'll get through them no problem. Visually, the game is a delight, especially if you've played either the arcade original or any of the home console ports made to resemble it. While the original and these ports all take great liberty in looking as Pac-Man as possible, the art of the Game Boy game is some of Data East's best in my opinion. Both cops and robbers look adorable enough to be in a Taito title, and while the mazes might be simple, rarely tear under the strain because of this. Speaking of Taito, the mazes can do a bubble bobble on the Game Boy and go beyond the means of the screen. However, pressing start on the D-pad will allow you to look around and plan ahead. There are also some playful short animations between each level of looping right into the next bank, which, while simple, look pretty damn great in my opinion. The game's music is chirpy and upbeat, matching the visual aesthetic perfectly. Each level has its own, almost bluesy chiptune that the game's credits attribute to 4 of Data East's composers, including Takafumi Miura, Yuji Suzuki, and Yasuka Takahama, not to mention future HAL Labs and Mother 3 composer Shogo Sakai. Combine this score with Mark Ericsson's take on the crazy Japanese box art, and Lock and Chase becomes a well-rounded work on all fronts. What's more to say? With great gameplay, luscious visuals, and a score that even on the 40th time of dying on the last maze still feels fresh, Lock and Chase is one to add to any Game Boy collection. Fortunately, a US card can still be had for a pretty affordable price, while those of you without the means to get a physical copy can always get it from the Nintendo eShop. Don't delay in locking down a copy for your collection, as make no mistake, when it's this amazing, it's a steal at any price. And that brings us to the end of another Boyographic, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed. If you have, why not check out some more of my Boyographic videos, where I look at the highs and lows of the Game Boy library, one cart at a time, every Friday. Check out some of our Boy Curious videos, where I look at some bootlegs and oddities for the system, as well as some All the Glory videos, where I long play a game, cutting out all the deaths, leaving you with none of the faff, but all of the glory. If you haven't already, then please subscribe, and encourage those you think might like the channel to do so. Well, until next Friday, Game Boys and Girls, it's goodbye from me. Game on.